Hi. As it turns out, I am fully capable of looking at a situation through a number of different functions and considering all sorts of ways that things should be without any added without any added um, feedback from others. I compare it to Tim Allen character in Home Improvement show, where he just talks to Wilson and comes to the conclusion and a solution or idea that has nothing to do with actually talking to Wilson and has everything to do with, you know, thinking about things, following your heart or whatever. So I have no actual. I'm just gonna put the 7 there because I know it's there. Right? No. I'm gonna reason it out. I know the 7's supposed to be there, but I can't really put my finger on why at the moment. For example, the 7 could be here, but it can't. It actually has to be here. We know that because it has to be in this vertical. And so there you go. And then the other 7 needs to be here. So then the last 7 needs to be here. This 7 needs to be somewhere in the middle. So it's either here or here. 6, I didn't even think about. Not having information about that really sucks. Anyway, that's not even more obvious, but there's a 6 here, so that's something. Look at 2. There's very few places 2 can go. Yay, 2 is finished. I'm going to put it here because it has to be in the vertical. And there, because that finishes the space. And here, also up. That helps. And then this one, probably. Or definitely, if you really think about it. 4 has to be here. And then the next 4 has to be here. Another one could be here. Gonna move off of 4 now, for some reason. Try to think of 1 is here. Which means 7 has to be here. Which means the other 7 has to be here. We now know that for certain. And 7 is finished. 8 has to be on the bottom. And the other 8 is here, and there, and there, and here. That's a 9. 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 9 is finished. 4 has to be here now, and there, obviously. And here, and there. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 6. That was a guess. Could have been 1. There's the 1. There's a 1. Here's a 1, so there's a 1. That's a 6. Yay. So, someone thought that I threatened them or mentioned harm should come to them or whatever. Didn't happen. They're full of shit. And they're not thinking correctly. I know what happened. And it's kind of really depressing. But it made me think of climate change. I can't do a damn thing about it while I'm just sitting here doing this. Kind of pointless to try. So instead, I think of things that I can do. Like the 4 can't be here. I honestly believe that some people just don't understand reality and they're not trying. So when someone gives an olive branch, but they're not willing to listen to your concerns, and I've asked other people about this advice, and it turns out that this number is 3 and 9, and there are no other, well, 4, 3, and 9, maybe, but mostly 3 and 9. 3 and 9 can't be anywhere else, except for the 3, I guess. So technically it has to be possible that it's somewhere else. So I can't rule out things just yet. But 9 has to be on the top, you'd think. Except for it could also be here. And there's 5, 8, and 3, which forces this one to be 9, actually. And that to be... Wait. 5, 8, 3... It's 5, 2, 3. 5, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 9, and it's not certain of anything. So that sucks. Let's look for something else. Anyway, there's a 1 here. I genuinely end up wondering if I'm a monster sometimes. And then I remember that if I was, that person who's concerned about me would have harmed and nothing happened. Guess what that means? I'm good. Back off. Silly goose. I mean, really, if you're going to think that somebody is capable of harm, would you treat them bad? Especially when they're calling out concerns that they have? Like, that's just reckless at that point. You're antagonizing. It's not smart. I genuinely think that people should be better than that and held accountable for their bullshit. What the heck is all this? It's like 2, 7, 8, 7, 8, and then 1, 7, 8, 1, 7, 8, 2, 7, 8, 2, 4. It's like just not 7 there. It's like there's no information there. There's 5s and things. Whatever. I don't like recklessness in people. There's definitely a 3 here somewhere. Question is, ooh, there is no other 9 here. Whoops, wrong button. So that forces 9 to be here, this 9 to be there, and that 9 to be there. And that makes things a little bit more understood. Or at least a lot of that is dealt with, which is good. And that kind of means that I predicted a 9 that I had no evidence for, but it did make sense, and it happened to be right. Cool, whatever. But I am, like I say, genuinely concerned about anyone who antagonizes someone that they thought was threatening or whatever. It's like poking a bear. You don't do it. This person did it. Thankfully, I'm not actually a horrible person. I've had 4 months to have things be turned into shit. Nothing's turned into shit. It's fine. I just sit here and do Sudoku. If you're worried about me, you're stupid. And I mean that with all sincerity. Unfortunately, you're stupid. It's not really a good thing to be. People kind of need you to be better than that. You know, not stupid. Because in general, stupid can get people hurt. And although it might not be me that is the potential of people getting hurt, it's your behavior that makes it possible for if someone else who is bad were to be antagonized like you did towards me. What the fuck? How am I in a false situation here? What happened? Oh wait, that's a 6. What? How did... Wait, am I dumb or did... 7? Oh yeah, something fucked up. I don't know what happened. That's so weird. I thought I did this correctly. So, what the fuck? Poking a bear. There's only a 2 in here, so that's easy to find immediately. There's a 2 here. That's cool. Done. There's a 4. Shows up, obvious. 7. Definitely. Um, I don't know how I failed that. That was supposed to be foolproof. I don't know what is going on with that. Oh yeah, I ended up seeing something like 898, 8585, and now I don't even see that. Also, this 1 is questionable now. But anyway, let's keep looking for stuff. But no, seriously, being stupid is genuinely not okay. Endangering others is not okay. There's a 9. So, I say this with all sincerity, please mention to, if you have a therapist, right? Mention it that you thought someone was dangerous or whatever. You told them something that might piss them off, and find out what your therapist would say about it. There's another 9 that's just poking out randomly. Like, pretty sure they would tell you, yeah, don't do that. No, that's not chill, dude. Like, just consider it if, oh, there's an 8. Um, like, depending on where you live and everything. Oh, 5-3, 5-3 equals not 5-3. Cool. Not 3. Um, 8, 6, 7, 3, 5, something. Wondering if I should check something. I think it's actually just a server I'm looking at, so it's not pertinent. I don't know. Oh, 5-3 and 6, 1-6, 1-6. But that's 1-6 inside the square, so it cannot be 1-6 elsewhere. Similarly. Ah, that's helpful. It removes one of the 1-6s from the column, meaning it has to be some other configuration. Also, 5-3, 1-6. It's only 1-6 I can't have anywhere else in this box, and in the column. We already established that, and the 5 doesn't actually affect the rest of the box or whatever. Like, ooh, here's something. This is a 3 that has to be in this column or this row because it has no other thing. So the rest of the 3s in this box are false. That's obvious. Nice. It's a lot of noise. Just gone. Oh, here's a 1. Just looking at me. Nice. There's another 1. Cool. Okay, so if this set only can have those 3 numbers, it can't be that those numbers are anywhere else. So this means that's a 3, and then this is not a 4. So that's nice. And then 5-2, 5-2 means not 5-2 elsewhere in the box. But that's already indicated, so there's nothing else to fix yet. No, I don't know. But what else can I find in this? I thought I had more 9s, but I don't. And like, you would think I would be able to finish it by now. Okay, if I were to think of 8 and 8, 5 and 8, 5, 3, 4. First thing that comes up is that if I get rid of this as a 4 and this as the 3 and this is the 5 and this is the 8, I would have no reason to know why that's the case. I need to think of something else. There's an 8 here, that's alternate. Six is interesting. Six column. Hold on. Well, if 6 has to be in these two, and it has to be here, one of them, that tells me nothing. Cool. And then together. If 6 is definitely up, that means that 4, 7, and 1. And 1 is definitely down. That means only 4 and 7 are the alternates. It's not super helpful. Maybe I could pop something. Well, we got the 5-2-5-2. That's the easiest pair besides the 5-3-5-3, which is a very broad pair and says a lot about the world. Let's try that. 3 and 5 forces 2, 5, 4, 6, 5, 7, 2, then we seem to have no answers. Immediate, except for this 8. Okay, hold on, never mind. 4, 3, 7, 8, 4, 7, 1, 6, 1, 4, 5, 7. And you know what? I think I picked the correct binary, even though we are totally on... Oh, there you go. That's a false. I was just saying. Well, wherever I started, it's not that. So, what was it? Oh yeah, it was 5-3, so it's instead 3-5. We know that much. This we know to be true. And self-evident. The 9 is still correct, which is bugging me because that's just crazy. I didn't do the same 3-5 as I did last time, did I? No, that can't be right. Unless I did do that. No, it feels different. There's a 3 here, for example. Oh yeah. No, I think it's different. I just can't resolve it. Um, 8, 6. There we go. Not 8, not 6. That's a 4, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 2, 8, 6, 5, 8, 7. Yeah, now we're on a correct path because I have to actually find something to continue. Or whatever. It doesn't make any difference. We're there. We got it. It is progressing. So then what? If I was them, right? That was 22 minutes of medium. That's sad, actually. 6, 2, 6, 2 equals 8 equals 5. Also not 6, 2. Also not 6, 2. Also not 2. Cool. Also 5 vertical, but that's obvious. 5, 4, 2 also means not 2. Pretty sure. And not 4. Not 4. So we have 3, 3, 1, 9, 7. Interesting. Okay. Singing that too good. Yeah, hey, there's a 5 that's just out there. Nice. Doesn't help a lot, but it's there. Cool. No, it's different. No, don't be. Whatever. You said I was different. Like, I can't help but. Even though I've already. Ooh, 8, 6 equals not 8, 6 equals 9. Also equals 4. Equals 7, 5. Equals 1. 7? Anyway, not 8, 6. And not 8. Cool. 1. But what the hell? 9. 4. So the problem with 4, 6, 2, 6, 8, 2, 6, 1, 9, 8. 4. The power of 4. The virtual 4. Sorry. I really can't explain what the virtual 4 is a reference to because I don't know. I just kind of invented it. There's a 5, 2. Nice. Virtua 4 just kind of popped out of my brain at some point, and I was like, yeah, okay. What the heck am I doing? If 8 must be down, it cannot be up, for example. So that's something. Yay, noise reduction. I love it. It feels the good goods. So now we know 8 has to be at least in here somewhere. It's one of them. But what else does that tell us? Uh, 9 equals 7 equals 2. That was easy. 8. I don't like thinking of people as dumb. They definitely don't like being considered dumb. But I think everyone is, like, clearly, you can't think of a person as being, like, knowing in all things, or whatever, usually. So wherever that is that they have their speciality, there's somewhere else that they don't. So they're dumb in something, which is why I thank God we have people who do our taxes. I still have yet to properly do that. My part in the doing of the taxes. I can do it tomorrow. How can I be stuck now? There are so few numbers that need to be found, and yet I feel stuck. How? It just doesn't make any logical sense how now is stuck about. How now stuck cow. Cow. Terrible. Stucco. The 8 vertical. Oh yeah. Forces. There's literally no other 8s, so that's cool. Of course, it wouldn't tell me anything. You end up with all of these, like, pairs of things. It's ridiculous. There's a 6. Yay. Does that help me? No. Should have been obvious. Also, 6 is gone. How do the ones look? The ones look kind of not obvious. Okay. How about the 3s? Equally not obvious. Somehow. Like, I don't even know how this becomes that it's possible. But here's a 5 just sitting there, waiting to be tapped. Yay. So that's cool. And then we have the 1. That's good. So that makes 7. You say I was different. 9, the other 7. 2, the other 7. We're cascading 7s. And things. 3, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Oh, definitely cascading. Pull a couple threads and full puzzle and 40 is not the best. Whatever. Please consider, understanding. I want good for people. It's really hard to think of what happens to anyone when they're pushed hard enough. What are the lengths people are willing to go to? And the most I ever said was, I want someone to be slapped in the face. Now, in a majority of television shows, that's just the thing that you do, and then they snap out of it and they apologize because they understand, okay, that's enough. Nowadays, we call that domestic violence or freaking assault, and we don't think of it as a tool being like snap out of it because it's like being punched or something. What if you could slap people in the face, maybe lightly or whatever, and it would be valid? That if you get to that point, you should understand, don't go any further. You've pushed too far. Enough. And still, did anyone actually get hurt? No. I don't want anyone hurt. I want them wise, and I want them to stop hurting me. I ended up thinking about how I was playing Sons of the Forest, and it was a simple thing, it felt like, and it got misinterpreted, and then I don't remember when yelling happened, but I did not yell, as far as I remember, until they left, and I expressed my absolute, like, frustration to the other person because someone had to know and be aware of how far I was pushed, how much tension there actually was. Because you don't understand. You're not supposed to push people towards being that frustrated. That's that's this thing where it's like it can be on you and it can be on them. There's both that possibility. But you can't just do nothing, right? You have to just do. I don't think when people are this or the other thing that you should just let it be, not bring it up again, and bury it and whatever. I don't think that burying stuff is like that, especially when the person is denying that this stuff happened in the first place. And both of them are feeling like they got hurt. But the thing is, the difference is that I'm not here saying my concerns and then not trying to see it their way. That's what they're doing. They're inconsiderate, butthead. And that's not okay. Can I do it faster? Obviously, I can do it faster if I have a system of putting in the right numbers that are near each other. Like the 5 and the 5 and 9 and the 9 and the 6. Instead of having to move all the way up, the 6 and the 6, the 4, the other 6, the 5 and the 8, the 4, 5 and the 7, the 1, 6, the 4 and the 5, and the 4 and the 3 and the 2. Because you gotta crab your way there, and you have to sometimes switch which fingers are doing which part of the crab. And it's like, it's not simple. I would say and I've asked, and it's the problem. It's like, when you offer someone a truce, that was faster. When you offer someone a truce, you have to be willing to consider their concerns, right? Like saying, "Oh, you're willing to let them be and do stuff and whatever together again stuff." But in the same breath, you're saying, "Oh fuck, I don't want to actually play this." Um, that you're not going to think about their needs. I feel like that's a crime, and like that's not okay. Wait a second, it has to equal, and then the other one has to be 3. So that means all of these have to be at least the same number, which has to be like this, and then 6, and then the other one is 6, doing that. That makes sense. This is the 4, and this is the 3, and this is the that. Almost there, because it's actually that. Hello? Hello? Greater than 4. Oh, for frick's sakes. This is the 3. This is the, yeah. That was that. Yeah, I did that. So, like, no, if you're going to be doing a truce and they give their concerns, like, your idea of not wanting to hash things out or whatever, but you're going to have this opinion that is like a false understanding of that person, well, that's not fair. I don't think that's good for anyone. I know there are multiple zeros that are more than just that. So it's like, huh, this doesn't actually fit, does it? Equal and 3 and 4 and greater than 3. 4 and greater than 3. Well, it doesn't have to be greater than 3. It has to be something greater than 3, which the other one also has to be 3. That's another way to do it. And then you have 4 and equal, or 3 and equal. Then you have to have something greater than 3, which this one also has to be 3. So, and the equal could just be the ones, now that I think about it. So that's greater than 3. That's the equal on one side. But then this one's equal as well. There's too many equals. There's only 3 5s. There's 3 4s, so it has to be these, but then which one of these is where? And it would look like you could reorganize it so that it's greater than 3 here, and it goes the other way. Wait, this also has to be equal. Oh, I forgot that's a triple equal sign. So wait, what is equal and greater than 3? Wait, that doesn't even work. How does that work? It has to be equal and greater than 3. So then, if you do this, well, I know it's just like 4, 4, and 4, but there's not a double that is... Yeah, no, that... Like, it has to be 3 and something, which it doesn't matter what it is. And then... Like... If it's 5, 5, 5, if you do that, that'd be false. So, like, it has to be that it's greater than 3. What is this? Greater than 3 is 4 by definition, or something. And you need a 3 up there. This also has to be 3. So it can't be this. That's so weird. There aren't enough 3s to go in the middle, and there also needs to be 3s in specific places. So it's like, how? Like that? Like, that doesn't organize into something that works. Like, if I do 4, 4, and 4, Also, is there... Wait, this could also be down here, which leaves that for other options. But then there's not enough spaces to do things. Like, you can't organize it that way. It has to be a different way. Like, that's not equal anymore. You know? And you can't have this one in AR orientation than sideways. So it would make more sense that this is here. But then, if this is here, for example, then this can be this, and that satisfies that. Greater than 3. That's the thing that's bugging me about it, because there's no way. Like, huh? Yeah, you can't even do a different orientation of this either. It has to be vertical. It can't be horizontal because you have to have this one, you have to have this one. And if it was any other orientation, it wouldn't work. So then you have the double fives, that satisfies this. And yeah, shut up. Yeah, I solved it. Oh, fuck this shit. Alright, how many fives are there? And also it has to equal 4. Oh boy, this gets nutty. I'm not interested in this one. It's a little much. Um well, obviously whatever you put there is gonna be a 3 and something. And it can't. Okay. So starting with the 0. The 0 has to be up here because that's the only way that you can have, or it has to be here, right? It has to be one of those positions. It can't be anything else because it has to be 0 in there. So then it has to be that a something 3 fits in that position, which could just be this. And it has to be a 0 that leads to that. And this could be this. And then the remainder has to be, yeah, also that fits in with some, whatever is in the side position. This orientation actually is required. Yeah, like it can't be here, for example. That's not possible. So 10 minus 9 is 7, so we need to find a 7. Here's a 7. There you go. That's one example of 7. There's another example of 7. So we don't need to think of that. This is just a remainder of something. Also, that's just the best approximation of 10. It doesn't have to be it's not like the only approximation. Like you could use 6 and 4 and get 10, so that's not a solution. Also, you need 24 up in that babe. So that means all of those have to be 6. That's like the definition of it. So forget what I just said about the 4 and 6 combination. But it doesn't mean that we can't change like which one is the 5 and whatever up here. I'm pretty sure that is gonna be a 5. But we have all options for 5s. So let's the other 6s we have. We have this one. and we have this one. So if I put one of them in, that needs oh god, we have another 10. And a 5 has to be up there, which means it has to also equal 4. It's probably a 5, 1. That's the best explanation I can think of. And then a double 1 for some reason. And then a 1, 3 feels correct. But then you have this other one. This other one could be the 1, 3, actually. And this is down here. And then you just have to put a 9 in there, which could be any configuration of this, which does seem to fit the orientation correctly, but is not certain. And then you just need a 6, which we just used somewhere else. And there is not a 0, 6. So that means this would have to be 4. That would have to be a 5, 6. Do we have a 5, 6? It's right here. Okay, so that's the answer for that. So it seems. And then we have to have the other 6's over here. And now all we need is a total of 8 in a combination of something, something, something. And there's a lot of 2's also in this beep. Also, we need to find a combination that gives us 10 in here, and whatever the hell else goes in this last section over here. It's irrelevant. Alright, so total of 8. What could that be? Could be anything. Also, we have another 10, which is annoying. Also, if we did this and 7, that satisfies that easily, which is too easy, maybe. Now, if I think of what can do the 8, it could be this, and it could be that. And then the other 5, 2. Hey, this is looking like a puzzle solve. There we go. We did it. That was good. That was good. This is a good. I haven't done one of these in a while. I thought I would do it. There you go. We got a little extra TNR up in this piece. Whatever, if you like this, you might want to check out the whole playlist of TNR. But yeah, I don't know. Strands. I don't want to do strands. Create. What does that mean, create? Create your word puzzle. Yeah, no. So, whatever.